recording. Ta-da! All right. So, Power Girls Power Hour today with Angeline Horrell, and
Yeah.
we are so happy to have you. So, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get started.
Sure, sure. Well, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I love a good power hour. That's the best, right? It's so good. Okay, well, let me see. What can I say? I have been in the marketing space for about 20 years, and I did a lot of I cut my teeth in the magazine, the publishing world. With a company here called DFW Child Magazine. We're the third largest parenting magazine in the country, and I was the director of marketing for them. But then when I left there and started my own marketing firm, I launched into some really big national accounts. We'll call it beginner's luck. But I did land some huge accounts. You may know brands like Rodan and Fields. I did a huge rebranding for them a couple of years ago and launched Gwen Stefani's makeup line. I did all of her social media campaigns for that. So have had some really big luck with some big accounts. But my heart was always for local small businesses. So I was doing social media for plumbers and doctors and things in my local business, and I just totally fell in love with kind of that grassroots marketing for businesses. And then I met my now business partner about almost 3 years ago. We met at a networking event. That's why we have such a big heart for these events. We sat next to each other randomly and decided we should have lunch because I knew she was in the social media space and so was I, but kind of different arms of it. And so she was a coach and she had a huge following online about teaching other women business owners about social media. In fact, I followed her when I met her. I was like, oh, I know exactly who you are. And so I was doing a lot more corporate marketing work, and she was doing kind of that coaching side of it. And when we met, we were like, oh my goodness, we are two peas in a pod. We're very different. She likes to say she's smart and I'm street smart and I'm classically trained, which I don't know. That's what she always says. But we bring a lot to the table together. And anyway, so with Next Chapter Social, just so you know a little bit about who we are, we're social media educators. We are coaches. We have some coaching groups, and we have a big done for you agency. So we do social media for businesses, both nationally. Gosh, we even have a worldwide brand, and then we have a lot of like local biz. So we kind of do we even have influencers, or we're fashion influencers that we work with. But we also coach women just like this. We have these very similar groups to this. We are industry agnostic. We'll help you with whatever industry you're in, but we love to help you figure out how to use this dang thing that we call social media to help you grow, whatever that looks like. So that's a little bit about us. Brooklyn would normally be here. I think she's Dawn's friend, but she's on an airplane right now. So here I am pinch hitting, just like we do for each other, right? So.
Well, I apologize. I was a little bit late because I was in our AAC meeting and I didn't realize it was so late. So I'm glad you got started, Angeline. Thank you so much for being our guest today. We are very grateful. And I use their company and I love it. Like I just the way they teach. So I'm super excited about today. So can't wait for you to share.
Oh, I'm excited too. Are we ready to dive in, or do you have some other things you need to take care of?
No, you're good to go.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're recording
Okay.
too, so we will
Yes.
share this with our entire group.
Okay. Awesome. I will share my screen and we'll get started. Okay. Let me go over here and go into present mode so it's pretty. All right. Good. So what we're going to talk about today is taking you from feeling like you're invisible online to being influential. I mean, that's the goal, right? Okay, let's see. Has to play the whole way. Here we go. here's the thing. Everybody wants to be influential online in their business. They want to be the go-to for fill in the blank, whatever it is you do. And I think I understand that all of you guys are in real estate. Is that correct? Okay, perfect. We'll talk about that. So we are truck certified educators, just so you know. We do teach real estate all of the time, and Brooklyn's married to a realtor, so we have a lot of inside scoop. But real estate is a space we know very well. So I'm going to help you guys kind of identify what it feels like and looks like to be the go-to in your area or in your niche, whatever your specialty is. I want to help you be the one that when somebody's and they're talking in their circle of friends and they talk about, gosh, I need a realtor who really knows this area of town or who really knows golf course communities or whatever, that if that's you, they know then their friends are referring you, right? We want you to be the one that is on the tip of their tongue, right? So social media can really help us do that for sure. Okay, so in today's class, what I'm going to teach you is a simple 3-part system that you'll use to create content. And we're going to call that like a social media campaign. I'm going to really simplify this for you from here on out. You're going to love it. It's going to be like a big aha for you. It's going to untangle the mess. All right. I'm also going to teach you how to not be smarmy. What we don't want to be, and most women don't have this problem, but what we don't want to be are those people on social media who just feel super salesy, or they're always just talking about their business and they're not human, and we don't have that relatable feeling about that person. So we're going to learn how to not be smarmy. And lastly, with this simple system and this untangling of the like, what the heck do I post kind of craziness in our head, I'm going to take you from being confused to confident. I promise you, if you implement this, it's going to be game changer for you. Sound good? Okay. Who here has that feeling ever when it comes to social media where you wake up and you're like, I have not posted in 3 days. I don't even know what I want to post. I better figure out some kind of dang content to put up online. I got to film something or do something. And it stresses you out, makes that little sick to your stomach feeling. I got to get it done, but we call it guilt, right? But it's very real, and it typically does not end up being good content. We call it slinging spaghetti, and I will even tell you, if it makes you feel better, we're professionals. We do this all the time. We post almost every single day on our account, and yet we sometimes wake up feeling this way if we haven't done our homework, which is what I'm about to show you. So listen, there's no judgment here, but I do want to teach you how we do it better for our clients, right? So our clients, we have a plan, we execute, and that's what I'm going to teach you today, so that you can feel that confident and not feel that nasty guilt, which actually leaves you feeling confused, inferior, and embarrassed, and overwhelmed. Who this is funny. I want to see if you guys relate to this, but oftentimes when I meet somebody at a networking event, I'll say, when we first start talking, I'll say, what's your Instagram profile? And because I want to look it up. I mean, if we're going to talk a little bit about social media, I want to look at their social media. And I can't tell you how many times somebody says, well, this is what it is, but don't look at it. I don't love it. I'm a little better on Facebook, but I'm also going to, and then they want to explain why it's crap, right? And you're like, oh, girl, I've been there. Don't worry. But instead, wouldn't it feel so good if you could be like, oh, it's Next Chapter Social. Yes, please go follow me there. I share tons of good tips. Please refer it. Please share my profile with others. That's what I want you to get to, so that you feel great about it and it actually becomes a tool for you. What I do know about social media now, especially Instagram, is that people are using it now like a website to refer you to other. If they're seeing your content all the time and your two friends over here are talking about, do you need a realtor? Awesome. Let me go find Becky Sarah. She's my friend. I'm going to go to her profile real quick, and I'm going to share her profile with you. They're going to find you on Instagram before they're going to go look you up on your website. They don't know how to find you on your website, but they definitely know how to find you on social media. So you've got to have a presence. If you don't, you're just missing that opportunity for continued leads to come in. So I'm sure now you all want to get better at it. I'm sure you do. A lot of people start a new year with the goal of getting better about their social media, posting more consistently. It's super common. But I also have the goal of doing more weight training. But my best friend said to me the other day, she was like, okay, so how are you going to do that? What is your plan? And I'm like, I don't know. I just have the goal. And she's like, you're not going to make that happen unless you have a plan and you've got it all. I'm like, I know this, but I still haven't come up with a plan. So listen, this is kind of like that. So I'm going to give you the plan today so that you guys can start implementing a system for your social media so you can get it done. And we can make 2025 a little bit better, right? Okay, this is 3 simple steps that you're going to do step 1 and 2 only one time. So this is kind of like that New Year's planning session, right? We're going to sit down, we're going to do some brainstorming work, we're going to do some mind mapping, some creative space. So this is something you'd want to carve out a little time. I always say like weekend mornings are the best where I can grab a cup of coffee and I don't have distractions and I can sit down and do some of this creative work. You're going to want to do this step 1 and 2, and I'm going to teach you that right now. And then number 3, the step 3 is the thing that you just wash, rinse, and repeat month after month. Okay. Okay. So step 1 is identify your buckets of content. Well, I've kind of already done it here for you. If you are a real estate professional, you are a personal brand, okay? Your page is not just about your business. It is also about you. We often like to say the most human company wins. And that is because when people are hiring a personal brand, they're not just hiring your work, they're also hiring you. They need to know who you are, okay? And so your buckets become the people, which is in your case, just you, okay? If this was about like us, we're a business brand. So the people behind our brand are actually Brooklyn and I and our team. That's the people. And sometimes even the stories of our clients become the people. But the people bucket is either you or your team. The work bucket is your product, services, and events that you offer. It's basically what you do and who you do it for and how people can work with you. So it's what you do. You need to be really, really clear on what you do. And I'm going to give you an example of that sounds obvious, right? But what I find is that people either talk a lot about the work bucket or they never talk about the work bucket. Let me give you an example. I had sat down a couple years ago with a woman who was a new friend at the time, and she was a fashion influencer online. She did a lot of corporate speakings. She more about like corporate dress. Okay, so she does a lot of professional organizations, and she's an amazing fashion stylist. She had like 10,000 followers on Instagram. She had a great following. And I asked her, how many of those are you converting to clients? Like I had to ask her, what actually do you do? Like, how do people hire you? How do you make money on this? What is your business? And then she told me, and I was like, I never knew that from your Instagram profile. I said, how many people are you converting? And she's like, none. I'm like, I can tell you why, because you're not talking about your business. People are loving your content. They love the value bucket, which we're going to talk about in a second, but you're not telling them how they could work with you and what you do. Okay. So sometimes we do tend to leave that off. And once she started doing that and showing herself more as a speaker and working in some of that content and talking about her closet edits and how she's working with the client, her conversion rate went through the roof. Okay, so we're either talking about our work or we're not talking about it enough. And value is the reason why people follow you. It is what's in it for me as your audience. What am I learning from you? Am I being inspired? Am I being entertained? Why should I follow you? Okay. So if you kind of break it down, it's going to be about 25% for people, 25% for work, and 50% of your post should be about the value content. You need to give something. Okay. And value is kind of a big overarching term, but I think you understand. We're going to talk a little bit more about what that looks like. So basically, what do people need to know? Or how are you positioning yourself as the expert? What is your value bucket? Okay. What are you teaching? Okay, so we're going to go through this. We're going to walk through this as an example so you can truly understand what step 2 looks like. But so we're going to focus right now on the work bucket, which is your product, services, and events. And I'm going to use my company as an example because it's the one I know. Our products at Next Chapter Social are that we are social media management. We do that. We're a true agency for lots of businesses. We're also teachers, just like I'm doing with you guys today. We're Trek certified teachers. I'm also a certified teacher for the PGA of America. I teach PGA pros how to do this stuff too. And then we're coaches. So we have one-on-one coaching and we have a group coaching for women business owners. So those are our 3 products. Okay. Now, step 2 is taking those products and mind mapping them. Okay. When you mind map your buckets, it's going to look like this. So let's go back just to an example, just so you can see. I'm taking one of my products, which is teaching. Okay. Here, I'm putting teaching in the middle and I'm going to kind of mind map this out a little bit. Now you're going to ask yourself like the who do we teach? Who, what, where, when, how, why. Okay. So who do we teach? Well, we teach mostly entrepreneurs. How do we teach? We teach in person and digitally. You know, the certifications, our qualifications, why we're good teachers. What do we teach? We teach social media for business, how to use this tool. And then one of our teaching buckets is this product that we have called Social School, and it's an e-course. I'm going to talk about that at the very end, but it is an e-course to teach true beginners in social media how to use it. Okay, so who is social? Now I'm kind of going into another layer. Okay, let's talk about Social School. Who is it for? What are they going to learn? And how do they get involved? Okay, so it isn't until you get to at least here, this layer, the second bubble, oops, got a little ahead, the second bubble, that you're even talking about anything online. Okay. So you want to get into what we call tiny topics, because too broad of a subject, this is where we run out of content. This is where we start slinging spaghetti when we start talking about us being teachers. Well, if you do a post about being a teacher, and then you do a post about being a coach, and then you do a post about your done for you services, then what else are you going to talk about? But that's not granular enough. None of that is making an impact yet until you get way down into the details of things. So when we talk about teaching entrepreneurs or we talk about Social School, I'm going to now do posts on who, what, where, when, how, why. Those are the tiny topics. This is where we actually get our content from. So let's take the idea of Social School. And now we're going to, this is step 3. This is the one where after you do those mind maps and the buckets, okay, for each, you're going to do a mind map for each bucket topic. Now you're going to take that one tiny topic and you're going to multiply it 5 ways. Okay. So this teaching bucket, we also have a mind map for coaching. We have a mind map for our agency. And then we have a mind map of all the different topics that we like to teach about in our value bucket. Okay. So each one of these, now I'm going to teach you how to do an EIEIO system on it. And this is where your content is going to get really, really rich. Okay. So take one tiny topic and multiply it 5 ways. EIEIO is something that we came up with. Brooklyn used to be a middle school English teacher. So she was really good at coming up with these easy ways to remember things. And you're going to love it. You're going to remember it all the time now, but this is going to teach you how to take one subject and talk about it 5 different ways. Okay. So what does EIEO stand for? Well, it's educate. You're going to create a post that teaches your wisdom and your insight. That is going to educate them. That same content, but now you're going to make a post that inspires them. You're going to show other people who are using your product, using your services. In your case, it would be inspiring someone to take that leap to actually get ready to buy a house or sell their house. Kind of paint the picture of what their life will look like if they work with you. Okay, so you're going to inspire them. You're also going to entertain them. And we're going to get into all of these, so don't worry. But entertain them. It's not that you have to go dancing. You don't have to do, crazy dancing things on camera. Although if you want to, feel free. But it's not really about that. I'll show you what it actually looks like. You're also going to inform them. You're going to tell them the who, what, where, when, how, and how much. That's why I was talking about with my friend Elisa. She was not informing people what she actually did. Okay, so you're going to do that. And you're also going to offer them. Another thing we often forget to do, particularly as women, is ask for the sale. Okay. A lot of my men clients don't have problems with this. In fact, I have to tell them, stop asking people to buy from you in every post. It's weird. So I sometimes have to tell them to calm down. So when you do these posts where you're educating, inspiring, entertaining, and informing them, then you kind of earn the right to ask for the sale. Okay, so you got to think about sort of in an order, if you will. Okay. So let's kind of get into what does it actually look like? If I'm taking one topic, okay, so like if we had social school and I'm going to do a post that educates my clients on it or kind of show them what they learn in social school. I'm going to show you what these all look like. I'm going to do a post that inspires them, maybe show somebody who was at their level now, but they've taken the course and now they are here. And that feels really good and exciting to them and inspires them to go, oh, if I do this, it will look like this. We're going to entertain them with something that just compels them to keep watching. And then I'm going to inform them what this looks like, how they can get involved. And then I'm going to ask for the sale. Okay. So let's kind of dive into education. This is where you want to just give someone the wisdom and insight of what working with you would look like. Not just tell them, hey, I do this. You're going to actually show yourself doing the thing. So for you guys, that may say, instead of you just saying, I specialize in the Heritage Oaks neighborhood. I'm an expert in this neighborhood. I know everything about it. Instead of just telling them that you're an expert, actually show them, hey, this is the community events calendar for Heritage Oaks neighborhood. Look at all these amazing events they have. And maybe you're doing this post live from, their 4th of July celebration. You're like, I live in this neighborhood. I know this neighborhood. I am involved in the community in some way. So now you're educating them on something about Heritage Oaks neighborhood, where you live. Okay. You are showing that you are an expert. By the way, that term expert, let me say this. You know how you become an expert in something? You just talk about it all the time. People will think you're an expert because you talk about it all the time. Just soak that in. So if you talk about Heritage Oaks neighborhood all the time, you're going to become more of an expert because you're going to be learning about it all the time. And that instantly ups your credibility because now you're educating it on this neighborhood. You're talking about it. They're saying, oh, she knows everything about that neighborhood. And that is what you want when you're looking for a realtor. When you want to buy a house or you want to sell your house in that neighborhood, you want the expert, right? Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys some different examples because I think it's so helpful I'm not sure. Can you hear this?
I love this oil. It's got a lot of great fatty acids in it. It has so many benefits. It's very moisturizing. So one way to use it is to simply open it up, take like literally a drop. I don't know if you can tell how thick it is, and apply it to your eyelashes. It actually
Okay, so this is an educational post from this Dr. Taz, and she's actually, this is exactly what she's doing. She's teaching somebody about castor oil. And so this is a very granular thing inside of her business. She's not just saying, hey, I'm an expert on holistic remedies. She's actually teaching him the thing. Okay. That's a perfect example of an educational post. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's see. I think it's going to be easier if I come off of, hold on one second. Let me just share, and for this portion, I'm going to just take you off of presentation mode. I think that's would be. Nope. I didn't do that right. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is an education post.
you need two kinds of hooks. The first kind of hook is a visual hook. Just like this one that I just did, go back and watch it. There's movement in the first couple seconds of the reel. That signals to someone.
Okay, so in this educational post, I'm taking one tiny topic. All I'm talking about is creating your hooks for your reels, okay? I'm going to talk a whole minute on just how to create a hook with a text hook and a visual hook, okay? Tiny topics. Okay, let me go on to the next one. Okay, this one is for a client of ours who, I'll just, so I can talk over it. They're a garden company and they sell microgreens as one of their products. So this is a super simple looping 9-second reel. There's no audio to it except for music. And all it does is I put on the screen is how do you cook with microgreens? You just snip and sprinkle. Okay. It's super simple. They understand it. There's not a lot of complication. So that is something that, again, tiny little things. I once did a post for them that was like, where do you snip your basil when you're trimming it? And just, it was this 3-second little trim, you trim it right here. And that post got, I think, I don't know, 25,000 views or something, because people just want that simplicity. So that little tiny topic. Okay, but it educates them, it teaches them something. Okay, inspiration. Okay, let's talk about inspiration. Inspiration can be something as simple as a really great quote, something that you always say, or something that you saw on someone else's page that inspires you, really speaks to your audience, speaks to your business. You can share that. If it inspires someone, great, but it doesn't have to be that on the nose. Again, it can be something that shows people getting the result from working with you that your audience probably wants. Okay, does that make sense? Because you really want to paint the picture of what it would be like if they were working with you or buying from you, shopping, whatever it is, whatever kind of business that you have. I mean, you're all realtors, but if you wanted something that would inspire someone, this is the kind of post you want to make. I'm going to talk about this example here. This is one of my clients. Her name is Heather Lyle. She's a communications coach. So her business is that she teaches she teaches people how to have better conversations, conversations that matter, sales conversations, that kind of thing. She is the best. And this is super good. I really want y'all to get this example because she has 3 kids that keep her crazy busy, but she's an excellent storyteller. And she takes stories from her children, things that they are going through, things that they are learning, and she teaches it. She teaches a message that relates back to that story. So she ties it into her business. I mean, she is great at that. Okay. So she's, in fact, she's talking about, she's inspiring her clients to her audience to say, you need to have these better conversations. So stories are really good in educational and inspirational posts. Okay. Stories are powerful. They're always going to be your best posts, and especially good when you're showing your kids or your pets, because people can relate and they do love those types of posts. So that's a good example from Heather. That's a true inspiration post, but there's other ways to go about it. So let me kind of keep going. I'm going to show you some more examples. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh, this one's Mel Robbins. We all know and love her.
Love that are going to make them feel amazing. Number one, the world is such a better place because you're in it. Number two, I am so proud of you. Number three, I miss your smile when you're not around. And number four, I love you so much. And by the way, don't forget to tell yourself those things.
So what she's doing here is she's inspiring, she's making people feel good. She's inspiring you to give a message of love to someone that, you know, this is her business, right? That really tracks for her business. But what could you do in your business that would make someone feel good? Maybe showing that homeowner finally getting her dream kitchen, what that looks like for her to walk into the dream kitchen that she's always wanted, or sharing the story about how they finally bought this house in the school district where they really wanted their kids to go. Paint the picture. Okay. Okay, let's go back over. Okay, let's go to the next one. Another one that inspires. Okay. This one's Brooklyn. It does have some music, but we're going to leave it off. When small business owners realize they can dramatically increase their reach if they use visual hooks. And then she's just giving some examples of how you can create a visual hook. She's just inspiring you to try this, how simple it is. Okay. That's a good example. That's really very easy. Okay. Okay, let's talk about entertaining. Entertaining is something that engages the senses and thoughts. Have you ever noticed yourself when you're scrolling social media and you see a post of someone like cooking in the kitchen, and I promise you, you can't stop watching it till the end, right? Because they've started those enchiladas. Now you want to see the end product, right? Like there's something about opening a loop in our brain that we have to keep watching to see what happens. Or when someone's putting their makeup on, I have to see what they look like when they're done. Like I have to watch. It's opening that loop. It's creating this sort of entertaining that they may not even be talking about the makeup that they're putting on or that coffee that they're pouring. But your brain is kind of hearing their message while I'm visually watching them complete a loop. Okay. I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but I guarantee you'll notice it now when you're going and browsing social media. But think about that. That is actually an entertaining post. When you're doing something normal, maybe mundane, maybe everyday life, we love B-roll. And that's what that's all about. B-roll is background roll. It's just kind of those little things, just like that Brooklyn walking down the stairs, the one I just showed you. That's a B-roll post. But again, they can be really short, but you're now giving them a message over B-roll, and that is very entertaining. They can also be very funny. There's a huge trend right now in like posts that are memes and remixes. You see those like little movie clips and things like that that are hilarious. Now that's an entertaining post. If that matches your brand, go for it, have fun. If it doesn't, stay away from it. But let's look at some examples of what entertainment may be, because it may not be exactly what you're thinking that it might be. Okay, this is one of those funny that's a meme that created on CapCut. We do these kinds of things all the time because we're kind of I mean, our brand is sort of snarky, funny. We don't shy away from using a bad word, everything. We just are kind of funny like that, a little sarcastic. Okay. So we love putting up things like this, and they always do pretty well for us. I think I have one that's like at 6.7 million views right now. That's one of these. Like, it's so crazy. People do like these. If it matches you, go for it. That is an entertaining one, but it's also got a message to it, right? There's a sales message in there as well. All right, let's go to another example. Totally different.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday.
So again, this is sort of using an entertaining style to actually teach something that we teach inside our social club, which is our group coaching program. So we're teaching how to use themed days and blocking. We're showing a little nugget in an entertaining and educating way. Okay. I know y'all are being super quiet, but I hope these are resonating with y'all.
They
Okay,
absolutely are. Thank you.
Okay, good. This one, okay, this is a cute one. I mean, we can't help but love baby chicks, right? I mean, okay, open the loop for me. I'm gonna watch animals all day long. So I think this is one of those fun ones where this company called Floret Flower, they are, did y'all ever see their special on Netflix? It was incredible. Anyway, highly recommend. Building Floret or Growing Floret, it was such a good series. It was about a business owner who grew a gardening company, but she does a lot of these short, entertaining clips to just, this is not even really that educational, but she's just doing something fun. That's a good post. Sometimes you just need a little like visual break in all of the content that you're putting out. Throw up something entertaining and have fun with it. Okay, the informational post. Think about this is different from education in that education, you're teaching them something that they're going to learn, or something about the housing market, or something about timing or rates or whatever that you're going to teach them. An information post is the who, what, where, when, how much, like the details about working with you, how they can work with you. Okay, so that is the difference there. This is a good example of one of our clients, Meg, who's a functional nutritionist, and she's talking about this program that she has, reducing inflammation without medication, so using food as medicine. And she's talking about her free masterclass, and she's actually putting it out there, very bold, very easy for people to understand. Come join this free masterclass and learn. Okay, that is a great example of an informational post. Okay, let's look at another one. This is a good one too from InstaCoach Mike. He puts up a post that's actually educating too, but he's talking about writing your Instagram bio. So this is the who, what, where, when, how, the details of your Instagram bio. So this one has a little bit of an education component too, but it's giving you the facts. Super awesome. Okay, and I think there's one more here. Okay. Again, this is back to Garnuti. This is a information post about microgreens. It's sort of giving them a little educational nuggets, but it's telling them this post goes on to tell them how you can go and buy your own microgreen kit and get started on it. Okay. So sometimes the inform has a little bit of a sales call to it as well. Okay, let's talk about that offer. Okay, this is the one that's going to feel a little more salesy. Brooklyn calls it the buy my crap post. Finally, we're going to ask for it. All right, so this is Kathleen. She is offering a color analysis in her business. She's a closet stylist, and so she's offering a color analysis. She's actually putting out the pitch for the service that she's offering. Okay, let's go to another example. Okay, this one was from Brooklyn. She had a vintage house that she was selling some furniture, and so she's saying, furniture for sale. This is what's in the bungalow right now that's for sale. Come buy it. Okay. All right. So I think we're back to prison mode. Let me go back to this so it's a little bit easier so I don't have to go back and forth all the time. I don't want you guys to really be focused on what you've done in the past, because a lot of times people get caught up on like, oh my goodness, I haven't been doing this. Do I need to start all over? Just go forward. Just use this plan to, again, think about your buckets, mind map your tiny topics, and then take those tiny topics and create an EIEO calendar from them. I'm gonna kind of show you what this actually looks like. But again, all 5 of these spokes in the wheel, you need them all for your wheel to really work. Otherwise, you might be like some broke down jalopy and you might not get to the top of this beautiful mountain where you can see this beautiful views. Okay. So, you need to have a balance of the different topics. For sake of time, I am going to show you real quick because I think this is important. This is these are a couple of examples of taking one topic and thinking about it through 5 lenses. So like with my golf pros, if you had a new Callaway putter, well, an educational post might look like, let's see if you can, educate the new technology inside this putter. This is how you're going to talk about something 5 ways. For inspiration, you're going to show a B-roll of putting on the green with text on screen about the results of using that putter. For entertaining, you're going to maybe create some funny video about like a golfer throwing 3 different putters that he has in the trash and getting in his car to go buy the new putter. You're in the informational post, you're going to actually share the price when it comes in, any other details that they need to know about the putter. I know there's like different lofts and stuff like that. And then offer is get on the wait list now so you can get this putter as soon as it's available. And if you think about it, if you had done all of these posts and then made the call to get on the wait list, like the guys who follow this post are probably going to really want to get on that wait list because they're going to want it bad. Okay, so I'm not going to click onto all these examples, but this was something where I actually had posts on Social Club. You'll see this on our page. If you follow us on Next Chapter Social on Instagram, you'll see that we actually implement this all the time. Okay. So now you have multiplied your bank of content by exponents of 5 times. Okay. So you have a lot to talk about. So no more slinging spaghettis. You varied your content. Your audience is certainly going to be intrigued. And here's the good thing too. You're going to be talking about the same thing over and over again. You're going to be repeating yourself, which again establishes your credibility in that subject, but it's also really good for the Instagram algorithm. Because when you talk about a few things over and over again, Instagram goes, we know what to do with her. She's the expert on this neighborhood or this type of subject. So we are going to know over here who needs that information, and they're going to start showing your content to the right people. And that's why focusing on your content, repeating yourself over and over again is going to help you find the right audience. Okay. Okay. Again, I love this visual, but I think it's almost easier to see on this graphic. On Instagram in particular, when you look what we call the 9-box billboard, because when somebody goes to your profile page, they see your top 9 posts. If you could think about this visually, and listen, this is not a roadmap. You don't have to follow this exactly. But when you think about this from a conceptual standpoint, if you have an entertaining post, informative, educational, inspirational, offer, educational, inspirational, entertaining, informative, the O is in the middle. What you want them to do is in the middle. So when you're now building enough content to ask for the sale, you're not going to be smarmy at all. You're going to actually just look like an expert. Okay. So now I'm going to kind of taught the theory, and I'm going to, in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to walk you through actually how to implement this strategy. Okay. So you've got your first steps 1 through 3, but this is the actual implementation part. So you're going to choose one of those tiny topics. And we're going to stay with our example that we were using of our product, service, or events, our products from your work bucket. Okay, you're going to choose that. Now, set a goal. Just because we all know that in business, it's just so smart to actually have a goal that you would really like to achieve from this campaign, if you will. So if you're going to be talking about, I'm trying to think of it. I'm going to go back to our example of social school. If we were going to be posting about social school, how many people do we want to sign up for our free webinar that leads to the social school thing? Okay. So what is that that's your goal? Number 3, you're going to brainstorm your content. Okay. So now you've got, let's say in the month of February, you want to be talking about this tiny topic A and tiny topic B. Well, go ahead and write out ideas and concepts for the EIEIO on A and the EIEIO on B. Okay. And this is exactly what I do with my clients. So I did this today, you guys. So I wanted you to see exactly what I'm talking about in real life. This is one of my clients. She is a nurse practitioner. She does functional nutrition and the weight loss, the GLP-1 medications and hormone testing and all that. Okay, so today we had her February planning call. So I know what her buckets are. We are focused on hormone, gut testing, and weight loss. Okay, those are her buckets that we focus on. And you'll see what we did in the call today was I kind of mapped out the different posts that we're going to have. And you'll see I have notes: inspire, inform, educate. There's an entertain. I think the offer's down here somewhere, but it's kind of sprinkled in. So this is real life. Like I'm actually using this. And then we fill in with a couple other things that we wanted to make sure we covered this month, specifically like the sexual hormones, because that's the month of love. So we're talking a little bit about that. So different things like that. This is exactly what I do with my clients. Is the very first step is we sort of get the concepts on paper. I have no idea how we're going to deliver this just yet. That's the next step, but the concepts are down on paper. Then the fourth step of this implementation then is make your click list. So now I will go back into Catherine's calendar and go, okay, I wanted to share a message about the Feel Better February special. I've got the EIEIO on that. So how do I want to deliver that? Do I want to do B-roll with text for that one? Do I want to create an image graphic for this one? Do I want to do a face-to-camera video? What are the things that I want to now create, gather, or record to actually complete those posts? So first I start with the idea. Sometimes I'll even write the message. And then I go figure out what kind of media do we need to create to make that happen. And then that's the next step is just to go gather, create, or film. So I will actually send my client a list of the things that we need to capture. And then I go to her office on January 28th and we actually record and we get the B-roll and the things like that. So that is how I do it with my clients. This is a real life scenario of how good social media happens. So you can do this for yourself. And then lastly, schedule your posts. And that way it takes it off your plate. You're going to feel like a boss if you do this, because then you're going to be able to kind of set it and know that it's done. You can use Meta Business Suite to schedule your posts for free. We use a company called Loomly. There's Hootsuite. There's all kinds of really good schedulers out there if you want to pay for them. But Meta Business Suite is free. You can also actually create reels in Instagram now and schedule them there within the Instagram platform too. But if you want to, your media may vary. So sometimes you may have a carousel or a single image, and sometimes you may have a reel. So you can use Meta to schedule all of that if you'd like. Okay, the happiest entrepreneurs I know aren't the richest. They're the ones who build a business that complement their lives rather than consuming it. Can we all get an amen? We do not want social media to consume us. And that guilt is real. So if you can create a plan, it will certainly help you to have some freedom in your life. Okay, the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with before we open up for questions is that if this resonated with you at all, we are starting in February. It starts February 2nd. We're going to be running the real estate marketing masterclass. This is a month with us. Y'all are not even going to believe this, but it's a month. I'm going to kind of go over here and I'm going to show you some details. Where every Sunday we deliver some modules of training for you. And then on that following Thursday afternoon, we have a live Q&A. So you can hop on with us live. You get an hour with Brooklyn and I to help coach you through your questions that you learned in that module that week. So we're going to be walking you through. It's actually the same exact curriculum as what our social school is. So it's really meant for true beginners who are learning how to use social media for business. And we're going to walk you through all of these things. We're going to help you. You get live coaching. An hour with us runs $3.99. That's the fact. You're going to get this whole masterclass. This whole masterclass is $3.97, but with Dawn's code, you can scan here and put in Dawn's her code there, and you get the whole thing for $197, the whole entire month of coaching. Okay, you can't beat that. Like, that's a steal. That's like less than 1 hour with us, and you get the whole month. So that is something we are doing particularly for real estate professionals in the month of February. So I want to make sure that you guys have access to that and with Dawn's good code. And that's it, you guys. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. And I'm going to stop sharing and turn it back over.
Do you have the slides from today at all that you can share, or we have the video? So if not, no worries, because I'm going to share the recording. So
Okay. Yeah, that'd probably be easier. It's a massive, beefy slide deck. Because it has all those
okay.
links and everything in it. So yes, I can go back to the code real quick. So I would love to say, oh, sure, I'm happy to share. I'm just not sure how easy that is to do. But let me look into that for you. Let me see if I can.
We have our video too.
Yeah,
we
we're
should-
fine.
Okay. All right, good deal. That's if somebody needs that.
But also put your social school in there. Like, you guys have such great content. And I've seen a lot of content training, but I love all of your stuff.
Good. Well, if you go through this, this is social school kind of designed for real
Yeah.
estate professionals. So it's even more targeted for you guys. And then after that, you'll probably want to join our coaching group, our social club. So that's the next step after that. But it's such a good deal in this masterclass. So that's all. Does anybody have any questions about the EIEIO or something that you want to brainstorm or workshop? I'm happy to do that with y'all before we hop off.
I just love that there's a plan. We always get all the time just kind of sucked into like, what am I going to do? And the overreaching thing here is having a plan. Have that plan, have it written, and it makes it so much easier for you. Have it scheduled, and it just makes your life easier.
Right.
I love that. That EIEIO too makes you think, and help with that plan. That was really neat.
I have two
Good.
questions.
Yeah. Okay. Go right ahead.
With the EIEIO, I noticed like the example you gave with the scheduling, it seems like it was every other day. Is that the recommendation? Also, I didn't see what you had for the weekend. What about the weekend? I don't know if you want me to give you the two questions or wait for the other
Oh, that's
one.
fine. No, let me address all of that. That's such a good question. And people always want to know that. They're like, should I post 5 days in a row about EIEIO or those 5 posts in a row? And the answer is you can. You definitely don't have to. You could take your 5 EIEI posts and kind of scatter them throughout the month. And then have another EIEI campaign sort of mixed in with that. Okay. There is no like, it has to be this way as far as when you schedule those posts. It's completely flexible. We have our masterclass. We have this one class called Your Shortcut to Social Media That Doesn't Suck. We talk about that every month, at least like 3 or 4 times a month. But it runs every single month. Okay. So those things can be very focused. Let's say you're doing an event and you really want to do targeted posts. Yeah. Like almost like 5 to 7 days in a row, go for it. But it can be flexible. Either way, both work depending on what you're promoting. As far as posting on the weekend, that's good. Saturday is not typically a good day to post. It is not great on social media typically. Sundays are good. I just don't post for my clients on the weekend because I like to have some boundaries. So as the professional who's doing their social media, I'm typically posting for them on like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Tuesday, Thursday cadence. But with our influencers, we definitely post on Sundays. We schedule those out. So I do leave the weekends for my clients to share their own, a little bit of personal stuff. Because if I'm doing social media for them, I'm typically only doing 10 to 12 posts a month. But for our business, we're posting 4 to 5 times a week. Okay. So as much as you want to post, you can post. But if you just want to stick to 3 times a week, girl, that's good. That's good. And that's enough. Okay.
Okay, thanks. Because I'm not a lover of social media, but I know that's the way business is done nowadays. So like every day is exhausting for me. So, but at the same time, I accept that I need it for my business. So, I just wanted to, and then some people say you should do it 3 times. Some people say it's every day. One person even told me it should be 3 times a day. So I'm getting
No
started.
thanks. No thanks, right?
Right.
The most important thing is consistency. So
Mm-hmm.
find a cadence that you work. If you're like, I just know that I can get like a Tuesday, Friday post. I know like minimum, I'm gonna do that. That is more important to do than post 7 days in a row and then take a 2-week break. That's not the
Okay.
best.
That's
Okay.
that's relieving. Thank you.
Mary said reels, stories, feed posts, just a mix of all. So, all right, let's talk about that. Okay, so reels and feed posts are kind of the same thing. That's what goes in your profile page. Let's call those all feed content. Inside feed content, you can have single images, you can have graphics, you can have carousels, and you can have reels. Those are all in your feed posts and Instagram. That's one neighborhood. The other neighborhood is stories. So I'm going to come back to that. But on your feed post, if you want to be shown to non-followers and to get new audiences, there's 2 types of media that Instagram shows to non-followers, and that is reels. So that's your videos, and now carousels. They're really highly prioritizing carousels. When I say carousel, what I mean by that is images, multiple images. Okay, so it's like what you call like the flip book, where you can see up to 20 images, and they can be images, or they can be pictures, or they can be like, we call them mini PowerPoints, like a graphic teaching them something that you make on Canva, and every slide has some text on it. So you're like teaching them a concept. You could take the same post content, make a face to camera video, and also do a carousel, and then also do an image with a little bit of text on it. You're basically saying the same thing 3 different ways. Okay. But carousels and reels are are going to help you grow to non-followers. That is kind of like your top of funnel marketing. It brings in new people. If you're not doing videos, you're missing the boat. You want new followers on Instagram, you have to do video. Okay, I know it's like getting shots, but it's the necessary thing. Stories is what helps you build relationships with your people that are following you. So the only people who can see your stories are your followers. Well, if someone goes to your page and they click on your profile and they want to see your stories, they can, even if they're not following you. But they're not going to see it in their stories feed unless they're following you. Okay. So stories is kind of like the relationship builder. It's the behind the scenes. It's the everyday. When you think about your feed post, that's really where your marketing happens. And then your stories is kind of where you continue to build the relationship. Those are only there for 24 hours. They come and they go. Some people may see them, some people may not, but they're important. They kind of both have it. We have classes on that. We'll teach you about that in the social school, in the master class, but they're both important. Does that make sense? But let's talk about feed posts as being really what you're scheduling in advance. Your stories is kind of more like can be done like on the fly. That was a long answer, Mary. Hope that.
That was a great answer. Thank you. So in that though, I mean, I think we all should take advantage of that amazing deal with Don's code and be able to learn these questions, the answers that you're giving us and more, a little more in depth, and it be so relatable to our industry. So if you guys need that code again, we will post it in Power Girls. And yeah, I just hope to see everybody there because I think we could all just be the best we could be and the expert in Instagram in our field. So thank you so much. This was very
You're
informative
welcome.
and very, very good. Thank you.
I'm so glad. All right. Well, I will go quiet. If there's anything else you guys need to talk about, feel free.
No,
Thank you.
we're done. So I
Okay.
don't think there's any other questions. And we just want to say thank you so much again for being here and joining us. Let me turn my, I didn't realize my camera wasn't on. Sorry about that. But yeah, we just have enjoyed this and I'm so glad that you were here. And thank you again for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes. All right, Power Girls, talk to you soon. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye-bye.